Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Blindformers. I am your host, Blind Prime, and for today I have for you Transformers Studios series Revenge of the Fallen Scavenger. This guy is crazy big. He's also really weird. He's like that duck from DuckTales that ran around on one wheel. And he has this wheel below him because Michael Bay doesn't believe in physics. Michael Bay doesn't want your action figures to stand on their own on your shelf. Michael Bay wants you to purchase extra money to buy a flight stand, which is kind of necessary for this guy. I got the flight stand right here plugged into the back. I use something called like a Takashami or something. It's pretty good. And it's kind of needed to get him in this shape right here. You can also transform him into a kind of motorcycle shape, which is kind of a way I do it if I want to lessen how much space he takes up. So let's go ahead and measure him. We're going to measure him by the top of his giant, stupid wheel, and that hangs out above his head because his head is literally in the center of his body. So by the big stupid wheel standards, we get 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 studs tall by big stupid wheel standards. Fun fact, in the Revenge of the Fallen movie, this guy was literally called Wheelbot in the credits. That's how much care and attention they put into him. I mean, it's menacing robots go. This is pretty menacing. He's got these two giant arms that hang out on either side of his wheeled body self. He's got this crazy big wheel that just kind of hangs out above. He's incredibly hard to pose because he just likes to... Oh, I raised that arm a fraction. There we go. It's back to normal. This dude literally hangs out in either his vehicle mode or is part of Devastator, but I never have him in this mode because it's just too ridiculous. Here we go with Bumblebee. Bumblebee here he comes to the top of the big giant wheel that makes up the bottom of this guy. Like, he doesn't have two legs. He's just got a giant wheel. You can actually use him to kind of, with one of his scoopy hands, he can pick up Bumblebee like that. He's got good ratchets in his arms, which, makes sense for what his purpose is. But then you spread it out like that, and, he tilts. And no stability. No stability at all. And you would think they would actually give you, like, 2 ports to plug stands into. But no, it's a circular port that's set up in such a way that every time this guy leans, he falls out. He is my least favorite for robot modes in this entire Revenge of the Fallen Devastator series. But in other ways, he's also one of my most favorites because his vehicle mode is just really cool. Other things to say about him before we get into the transformation is that this was the first. Him and Mixmaster were the first 2 Transformers that I purchased in over 10 years. I went to the store and I bought them because I had missed out on Devastators in the past and I wasn't going to miss out on another one, so help me. And I didn't. This was the first one. I thought it was kind of stupid, but I was committed. I mean, I dropped $50 on a Devastator with him and $30 on a Mixmaster, so I was already pretty committed. And yeah, this is the guy that started the journey to this YouTube channel. Him and his stupid wheel self. So, he's got a special place in my heart for that, but not for much else. I really wish his robot mode was a bit easier to manage. Alright, let's disconnect him, and I'll show you my fan mode that I did for him because, reasons. Alright, so pull the stand out. We'll set the stand. Just lay him down for a second and set the stand. Knock that over. Alright, there. The stand can sit there. That's perfect for it. Alright, so in this mode, he stands on his one wheel that consists of his treads circled around each other, and then the other wheel kind of hangs out above his head. But In the fan mode that I do, I lower it down like that, and then so that he actually rests on both wheels, and then he becomes a motorcycle guy. Yeah, with two big claw arms that hang out on the sides. Now this is what I'm talking about right here. But the problem with this is that the head doesn't want to work right. So you actually have to twist it around and spin it so that the head is on the smaller wheel that hangs out, points that direction. Which means that both of these arm things need to rotate, and not much needs to really change except for the rotation of the arms and the rotation of the head. The only problem is that the head is very, it's in there pretty deep, and this is also the wheel that connects to Devastator. He uses the connection point for Overload later. So it has a chunk taken out of the wheel to allow it to slide in. So that's the big negative on this mode. Though another positive is that you can split the bottom of that wheel open and let it just sit there, and it will become a very stable guy. Look at it. He's so stable now. You can do all sorts of fun things with him. In this mode, set up like this, which is my favorite mode to display him in because, well, the other mode is just difficult. He actually stands only 15 studs. Wait, is that 15? No, 14 studs tall in this mode. 14 studs tall isn't bad. Let's get Bumblebee out here so you can have a comparison. Bumblebee now can be run down by this crazy motorcycle guy. Yeah. So you get this, you can have Bumblebee getting grabbed, but Bumblebee definitely sits right. And because, it's a motorcycle, and he's going to be sitting on the face. Actually, wait. If I rotate the head, let's just do this real quick. We'll do this. Okay, rotate the head 180 degrees and have it sitting up. Rotate the body again. Now, since the head is in this position, it kind of acts as the back of a seat. And let's see where we're going here. Let's see. Rotate the arms again. Yeah, we're going to have to rotate these arms. There we go. Rotate this arm. All right, all right. Now, can Bumblebee have a motorcycle? Let's see. Retgar's coming up, and I'm definitely getting that. But let's see if this actually kind of doubles as a motorcycle. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that. He kind of sits in there. That's pretty wild. There you go. If you were looking for a use for your Bumblebee and your Scavenger, when he's not part of the Devastator, you can always flip his head around so that his face is facing the wheel. That would used to be above his head. And then you can have a figure like the size of Bumblebee sit in there and use the back of the head as a seat and be like a lowrider. Oh, all right. So that was a fun little thing that I wanted to show you guys because I liked it. I thought it was neat. But let's discuss the transformation now. So to transform this guy, let's put him back in his wheel form so that you have an easier thing to move from. So we're going to lower the head. We're going to make sure that these arms are rotated so that the crazy amount of shoulder stuff is actually facing up. And the arms themselves are facing down. All right, there we go. We're back to balancing on one wheel. So let's transform him. Oh yeah, that wheel twists 90 degrees. Let's begin. Okay, so first off, the head wheel needs to twist 90 degrees to make it perfectly level with the bottom wheel, at least in planes. And then we're going to need to move these arm bits down just a bit, get them out of the way, because this bottom wheel needs to split in half. And this is really cool. I love this guy's transformation because he starts off as a bunch of wheels and arms, and then he's going to become a giant box, which is pretty neat when you consider all the circles this guy has. So in both wheels, there are these treads that are folded down. They sit kind of folded at a 45-degree angle within the wheels bit. So you want to pick both of them up and rotate the other wheel so that your treads are facing upwards. Rotate both of them up. They should make nice little solid clicks. We'll hear that again. Listen. Oh yeah. Click it good. Okay. Now that that's complete, we're going to want to fold these wheels backwards, kind of. We're going to have to work for a minute. You've got the wheels split. We're going to have them hang out for a second because next is we've got to break down these shoulders. Now these shoulders, you're going to have to use some force because they're in there good. But if you feel on them, you feel the line goes up and then there's a hinge and then it goes over and there's a hinge and then it goes back down. So what you want to do is you want to grab the part of the transformer that's close to the shoulder, and then you want to grab the arm and everything connected to the arm, but that's it. You don't want to grab anything else really, and then you want to pull it. And it's going to make a god-awful noise. But you want that noise. That's a good noise. That is a noise you want. So we're going to repeat the process on the other side. This part gave me the longest trouble because I didn't realize that this did this because I was scared to give it enough force. So I'm letting you guys know, don't be scared. You've got this. So this other arm has a cockpit on it. You want to make sure that the cockpit is become loose and is kind of floppy. You don't want it to snap off. I mean, you'll be able to put it back in, I think, but you don't want to risk it. So just make sure it's floppy and loose and able to handle the shock of unclipping this arm. So once again, grab the robot and then grab the arm and separate. It'll make god-awful click, but then it will fold out to be this really long panel. All right, now that that's done, we want to rotate the arms so that they sit differently. So they will click so that they, here, let me see if I can move it so the camera can catch it. So what it is the arm in its normal position when in robot mode is laying flat against the inside of the panel. So what you want to do is rotate it on its ratchet joint so that it now sits perpendicular to the panel. And the arm has a nice flat plane on the top of the panel. It's going to be, let's see, 1 click, 2 click, 3 click. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Nope, just 2. Okay. I thought it was 3. It's 2. Do it on the other side. Move them 2. 2 ratchets up. There it goes. Maybe it's different on this side. Either way, wait, is that right? Yeah, okay, cool. We did it. We did it right on both sides. Now, time for the... Okay, now everything's kind of loose and floppy, and now it's time to start getting it all folded together. First off, you want to rotate the head, and then fold it inwards so that it's kind of hidden. We can actually hide the head pretty well. There we go. It's always good to hide the heads. You know how I feel about that? My viewers, you know how I feel about hiding the head. Oh, that could be turned into innuendo. All right. Now that you've got that, you want to make sure that the sides, the panels, are going to be floppy. And once you've ensured the panel's floppiness and that it's kind of planed out of the way, as you can see, kind of hanging it, you want to rotate the wheels that you split in half. Now on the back of those wheels, there's that circular bit, like a hubcap. It's actually got some notches in it, and it's going to want to stick to the pegs on either side of the stable wheel, the wheel that never bent. And so you want to fold the assemblies so that they can hit that wheel, and make sure that when you do it, you're doing it the correct rotation. Okay, so that's wrong. So let's put this part in. Yeah, this guy takes up a lot of space when you're transforming him. Oh, all right. Rotate. If the pegs aren't working, just rotate the inner wheel and try on that regard. It's good to make sure that you've rotated the treads so that they're facing towards what will be the ground. All right. Let's do that with the other side. Okay, there's a vertical peg and a horizontal peg, and they're both rectangular. So we get this other wheel bit. We fold it. There it goes. Now it's going to want to plug in there, then rotate so that the treads fit on the ground. Okay. Now comes the next part, where we actually have to pick things up just a bit. Oh, my bad. Rotate the wheels again because I had them facing the wrong way. The things that make up the weird knee joint should be facing up. So we rotate these again and ensure that the knee bits that he uses to suspend himself on one wheel are facing towards the sky. Make sure those are clicked in. Now it's time for the weirdest, kind of difficult, kind of easy part. So we want to rotate on the shoulder this big giant panel thing. And once you've rotated it so that the panel lines up with the wheel that we just clicked in place, you'll want to lay it down. It's going to then click in place. It's going to lay down across the wheel that we split in half and on top of the treads. The treads that you lower are going to act as a lead so that all of this can just kind of fold down. Now, we're going to then take the cockpit bit and we're going to fold it on its little hinge because it's floppy, so it gets folded on its little hinge, and then it gets folded again so that it will lay down and actually be a cockpit on the side. Now we do the other side, where we take this crazy long panel thing and rotate it. Oh, come on, come on. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Yes, I do. All right. There it goes. Fold it all the way across. It's going to snap into a few little peg holes in there. And once that's done, we got to then take a moment to fold that. There's a little panel that folds, and it's going to fold all the way over to lay flat across the top. And it's got some really cool roughage to it because it's supposed to be like a grated platform so that you can perform maintenance on this vehicle, which I love that attention to detail with the sculpting. That's just a lot of fun. It's really cool how much attention they gave to the sculpting on these guys. Make sure that your two weird fingers are plugged into the correct slots on the buckets. And then we're going to want to rotate each of those arms. So, by the way, to figure out the best way to do this, make sure that finger, that weird thumb finger that moves on the bucket, it's going to be facing inwards. So we want to rotate the other arm 180 degrees so that that thumb thingy, that thumb claw on the bucket is facing inwards, because this will allow both of these arms to actually connect. So we've got to mirror each other, do the fusion dance kind of thing, make sure that each is directly opposite one another and they are all doing the same things. If you have anything off, the fusion dance won't work. If you have anything off here, the connection won't work. There it goes. There you go. All right, arms are done. They act as a major stabilization point for the rest of this figure, and that's complete. That's complete. On the underside of him, this wheel bit can actually fold open on two sides, and that was something that I forgot to mention earlier. But when you fold it open on both sides, you actually can shove it into the, there's some little slots on either wheel bit, which add to the stability. This guy becomes very stable once you've done that. And finally, these little wiggly bits actually didn't even move at all during the transformation, and they ended up in the right place. There are two wiggly bits that are needed for the Devastator transformation. Oh, why didn't that panel fold in all the way? There it goes. There you go. Yeah, you get in there. All right, so there you have it. We have him in his crazy earth scooper move. This is known as an earth mover because this scoop, if you've never seen these guys in real life, the scoop on the end of this transformer can carry a semi-truck, like on the end of this vehicle. This is a big, big scoop. This thing's used mainly in mining operations to do hardcore mining. You can see them in some documentaries. They're the ones that fill up those giant dump trucks, the ones that have wheels that are taller than human beings, like by a lot. But let's talk about the height. We'll measure it by both the height at the height of the scoop arm, which is going to be 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 studs tall there. And then we'll measure it by the height of the cockpit. And the height of the cockpit is 16 studs. So there you go. Let me make sure I got that right. Did I? Yeah. Oh, 16 studs. So at the height of his cockpit, he is 16 studs tall. And that's pretty cool. I just say this dude is a lot of fun. Because he's got this crazy cool arm that's very maneuverable. Let's get the cliff jumper out here to talk about. Cliff jumper stretches from tread to tread. The entire length of the treads on this guy, that's cliff jumper. This dude can also just pick cliff jumper up in his scoop, and the resistances are so good on him that he can just carry him there. Or just, dump him off. There it goes. Oh, width-wise, this dude is pretty wide. He sits at, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 studs wide. He's as wide as he is tall. This is a square. He goes from being 2 giant wheels to 1 giant square. And I just like that. I just think it's cool that he transforms into this big boxy vehicle from such a weird Michael Bay nightmare of a creature. So, what are my thoughts on it? Well, I have to say, transformation-wise, it is kind of a difficult transformation because you got to get everything right. So sits up there with the Studio Series in complexity. So definitely an 8 out of 10. No, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. The enjoyment I get from it, I get barely any enjoyment from the robot mode. I don't like the robot mode at all. I do think it's cool and it's a neat concept, but in practice, it keeps falling. And, if the cat jumps up on the bookshelf, boom, your wheelbot goes down. And so I don't really enjoy the robot mode at all. I'll give the robot mode a 2. Now, on the other hand, the vehicle mode for this guy in enjoyability is definitely up there. So I'll give him a 7 because he doesn't have any siege ports, and that's a big negative. I mean, you couldn't have given him at least 1 siege port so I could just upgrade this guy with a crazy gun? That's super sad. Now, there are actually maybe hidden siege ports on him. I can't recall. Yes, I think so. So let me see if I have something. Do I have something? Oh, Lord, I'm always tripping over weapons. And the one moment I just need one, real quick. Bumblebee, where are you at? Give me your gun. Bumblebee, give me your gun. Thank you. All right. Let's see. And no. That isn't a siege port, guys. I'm sorry. That's just a screw hole hiding like a siege port. Super sad. Take your gun back, Bumblebee. Anyway, so this is Blind Prime, and this episode has been all about Scavenger, which is also known as Wheelbot, according to Michael Bay, who never really even bothered with that movie. Good God, that's such a terrible movie. Oh, anyway, so until next Prime, don't forget to comment below and subscribe, and please share this with anyone in your life who is currently experiencing vision loss or who has experienced vision loss. You never know. Transformers may be something that they quite enjoy. Well, bye-bye for now.